It is 6 o'clock, and we will call the City of West Melbourne Council meeting to order. This is October 21st, 2025. If you please stand with the pledge in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated, please. Welcome to the meeting tonight. The City Council members and of the public, members of the public are welcome to speak on any topic, whether it is on tonight's agenda or on any issue that is important to you. Each person that wishes to speak should complete a speaker card, which are located near the glass doors and submitted ahead of time to the city clerk. After you have been recognized to speak, please use the microphone at the podium and clearly state your name and address for the record. Please address all your comments to the City Council rather than to individual members. Direct all your questions to the chair. Speakers will be given up to 3 minutes. All right, our first item is we have a person who is attending by remote tonight, Ms. Helen Volz, and I need a, Ms. Adams?
I'll make a motion to allow Ms. Volz to attend virtually.
Thank you. Mr. Bentley?
Second.
All those in favor of allowing Ms. Volz to attend virtually, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries, passes 7-0. All right, our first business tonight is a proclamation declaring October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Ms. Mitchelson, if you'll meet me down front. Oh, please. Please excuse our backs as we try to turn here and address everyone here. Our new council chambers will be better at this. It'll be better. We won't have to do this. All right, so this is our little group here. Thank you and welcome. Thank you very much for coming tonight. So this is a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October 2025. Whereas the City of West Melbourne recognizes the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and whereas domestic violence includes physical, emotional, social, and financial abuse and can occur between family members, intimate partners, and within dating relationships, and whereas on average, 24 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. During 1 year, this equals to more than 12 million women and men. And whereas 1 in 15 children are exposed to domestic violence each year, and 90% of these children are eyewitnesses to this violence. Children who grow up in violent homes are believed to be abused and neglected at a rate higher than the national average. And whereas the majority of domestic violence victims are women, and domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women, and whereas every person has the right to live a life free and from the threat of abuse and violence, and whereas domestic violence victims and their families in Brevard County are urged to seek assistance from appropriate victims service organizations, including the Women's Center of Brevard, Serene Harbor, the Salvation Army Domestic Violence Program, Palm Bay Domestic Support Services, and the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, the Mayor, and City Council of the City of West Melbourne, Brevard County, Florida, proclaim October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Witness by my hand the seal of the city on this 21st day of October 2025. So thank you very much, ladies. We're going to have a photo here. I'm going to give the microphone over to you at that point. Okay, it's going to. The bus is coming. Okay, just in time for the photo. Please come over here. You can be on. Well, I guess we can be all here. Here we go. Thank you, Sandy. I'm going to give you the mic and just take a minute here.
Alrighty. Cindy Mitchell with the Salvation Army. Would you like to let people be aware?
I love Sandy. You put somebody on the spot. All right. Thank you, City Council and the Mayor. Thank you so much for recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm with the Salvation Army Domestic Violence Program, and together with Serene Harbor, our sister Domestic Violence Center in Brevard, and the Women's Center, lots of different PDs and lots of helpers out there. We're, you know, October is a time that we celebrate survivors, successes, and we mourn those who we have lost. And, you know, try to get the word out to help everybody. And you want to say something?
Thank you, Beverly DeMeyer with Serene Harbor. We just appreciate our community and all of the love and support we get at this time. This group of people represent an amazing group that is helping survivors, their families, and even the family pet find safety. So thank you all for appreciating that opportunity for us. Thank you.
My name is Sandy Dobson. I'm from Palm Bay Police Department. I just want to let you know that just because my shirt says Palm Bay doesn't mean that I won't help anybody, especially as West Melbourne itself does not have their own advocate. So if you've been touched by domestic violence or you're an officer who needs an advocate, please have them call me and I will take care of the people. So please don't let Palm Bay put you off.
Thanks. I'm Lori Sutherland with the Women's Center of Brevard, and I want to thank the community, too, for caring about our mission and what we do to serve men, women, and children in Brevard County. The Women's Center provides services including victim advocacy, counseling, housing, transitional housing, counseling, and we also run the only rape crisis center in Brevard County. Solely, the Women's Center does all of that, so we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Mary, Mayor, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Everyone else? All right. Thank you very, very much, ladies. Thank you.
I'll do my thing.
I She did vote. She should. 6-0. Motion carries 6-0. All right. And I apologize. It is very awkward trying to address council and the public at the same time when you're trying to do that. So I apologize for that. Our next item, there are no modifications to the agenda. Public hearings is the water rate adjustment. Mr. Rohde.
Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and members of the council, this evening is the second reading for the water rate increase that will take effect November 1st. Again, for members of the audience or anybody watching online, your West Melbourne water bill is divided into two sections. The one section is the fixed cost, which is representative of the city water department, our employees, our equipment, the pipes in the ground, all the valves, all the boxes, all those fixed assets. And then the second portion of your water bill is a usage, which is a pass-through, since we currently purchase water from the city of Melbourne. So we pass that cost through to our residents. Effective 1/1/27, we'll have our own water plant. And so in future council meetings, we'll be discussing how that will look, how that bill will look. But for now, we've had a standing position here that the purchase of water from Melbourne is just passed through to the residents who use it in West Melbourne. And so with Melbourne taking the action to increase their water rates 10.5% each year for the next 5 years, we are mirroring that image for the next 2 years. At that point, we will be on our own water utility and will not have a need to make the year 3, year 4, year 5 increase that Melbourne is doing. So we are asking to for the council to take action to raise the water rates 10.5% in order to pass that increase from Melbourne along to our residents.
All right, thank you. This is a public hearing. Megan, are there any cards? No? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Do council have any comments?
You know, nobody wants to make a motion on that.
I'm seeing that by the darkness of the of the light. Maybe it's not working. Oh, Miss McGuire.
All right, I get it. I'll make a motion that we approve the second reading of ordinance number 2025-23 as written.
Thank you. Mr. Gaylord?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Gaylord. All right, we have a motion on the floor from Ms. McGuire and a second from Mr. Gaylord. Please signify, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. I'm sorry, this is an ordinance. Please read the ordinance.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is ordinance number 25-23, an ordinance of the City of West Melbourne, Brevard County, Florida, amending Section 58-98A, monthly potable water rates, providing for severability and interpretation, providing for the repeal of ordinances and resolutions in conflict herewith, providing for incorporation into the Code of Ordinance, providing for an effective date. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we still have a motion on the floor from Ms. McGuire and a second from Mr. Gaylord. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. That was a nay? Helen, was that an aye?
No, it's not. I want to say nay, but yeah, no, it's nothing we can do, so I have to say yes.
All right, thank you. Motion carries 7-0. All right, thank you very much. Next item. Public forum. Are there any cards? We have nothing for public forum. All right, thank you. Consent agenda. We have 2 items on the consent agenda, the special council and the regular council meeting. Ms. Adams?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bentley?
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion on the floor from Ms. Adams and a second from Mr. Bentley. All those in favor of passing the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Action agenda, non-consent, purchase of 2 EnviroSite sewer inspection cameras. Mr. Piccarello.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members. Only one this evening, so not too bad. Yeah, we're looking to replace our existing camera system that we have. As you can see, we purchased the first one back in 1997, and over the years it has been rebuilt, worked on, and the technology just hasn't caught up with it, so we're looking to replace it with a new camera system for our sewer and our drain pipes to be able to inspect. The camera come in handy. What we do is when we have an issue with a residence having a blockage at their home, we use the camera system to go in so we could pinpoint where exactly the clog is, whether it's roots or a pipe malfunctioning or somebody drilling through one of our pipes. So it's a piece of equipment that is very essential to us, so that this way we're not digging up pipes all over the place trying to find any issues when they do arise. So with that, I'd like to see award the contract to Environmental Products Group Incorporated out of Apoca, Florida, in the amount of $128,903.43 for the 2 camera systems, and we budgeted $139,000 for the cameras.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bentley?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd make a motion that we award the contract to Environmental Products Group in Florida for $128,903.43.
Thank you. Ms. Adams?
I'll second with a question.
What's your question, Ms. Adams?
Thank you, Mayor. I know the quotes were included in the council packet, but what I didn't see is how much usage cameras like this get? Is it on a daily basis? Do we use it weekly? What kind of need are you seeing in terms of the usage with the camera that we've had previously?
The camera gets used quite often, at least once a month, depending on a couple times, depending on what the weather is, depending on the situations we're dealing with coming up to different things. What we do is we also use it for the drainage pipes also, just for basic inspections to make sure the pipes are clean before storms. So the camera is used quite a bit, yes.
So on off-season, it might be used once a month,
no,
but then
there's
during maybe storm season, we use it more?
Yes, for inspecting our drainage, but the sewer side uses it more because, like I said, we want to be able to pinpoint where blocks are or issues are with the sewer side because you don't want to dig up somebody's front yard. We just had a situation now we've been dealing with where roots clogged a homeowner's line coming out to our line, to our main. Apparently she got a bill for $5,000 from her plumber, and she wants the city to pay for it, but with the camera, we were able to prove that it's not on the city side, it's on her side. So it's a piece of equipment that is essential.
Thank you.
Mr. Bentley, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. Mark, do you guys use that, when we do the relining, do you use that camera system for that to determine which pipes should be relined or?
The pipes that we reline that we have been working on are all the old clay pipes. The company that we use comes in, they will camera all our lines prior because they'll go in and part of their process is cleaning everything before they line. The lines have to be cleaned. And then they'll come back and they'll give us a camera them again when they're complete. So we have all that documentation that we're putting on our maps also for the.
All right, thank you, Mr. Frampus.
Mark, use a similar system for water lines or
Yes.
same kind of camera, or is it?
It's the same camera, just with you're able to put bigger wheels on it depending on the size of the pipe.
Guessing we mark them different, right? Paint them colored? Paint them
For
different?
stormwater, not for water lines.
Stormwater.
Stormwater lines.
I meant water lines. Do we use cameras for water lines, or no? Not at all? That's good. I hate to mix them up. All right, thank you.
I saw where that was going. I got nervous.
I didn't know, so I figured I'd ask.
All right, thank you. There are no more questions. We have a motion on the floor from Mr. Bentley, a second from Ms. Adams. All those in favor of purchasing the camera, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, thank you. Next item, Chief Vesta, purchase police department vehicles and associated equipment.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, members of council. So here to request approval to purchase replacement PD vehicles. We had talked about this in the budget process. We're trying to smooth out the number that we order each year. This year we had budgeted for up to 10 total vehicles. Looking at the current vehicles and the replacements, this would allow us to replace 7 Ford Police Interceptor vehicles for the patrol division, 1 of the traffic units, 1 of the unmarked criminal investigations units, and then the final one would be the replacement for one that we currently lease for the special investigations undercover unit. We had made a goal a couple years ago to get rid of the leasing as a practice in the SIU and just go ahead and purchase the vehicles ourselves. So that would eliminate, get rid of the last lease that we do have outstanding. So we had budgeted $810,000 this year. As estimated now, the total cost would be $742,678.65. So we were able to come in a little bit under budget there by reutilizing some of our current radios, not purchasing new where we don't need to, and also a couple of the radar units. There's a whole list of 9 vendors on the second page of the memo. As you know, it takes a number of different outfitters to complete the cars, from the in-car camera system and body camera system to the install of lights, all the inside equipment, and then of course the outside designs. The list of 9 vendors is in there, but with that being said, we are looking to authorize the purchase of 7 police Ford Interceptor vehicles, 1 GMC Sierra 1500, 1 Toyota Highlander, and 1 Chevy Silverado.
Thank you. Ms. Adams?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of the 10 vehicles included in our packet, as well as the equipment that's been requested for them, but I do have questions.
All right, thank you. Let me get a second. We'll come back to your questions. Mr. Bentley?
Second, and also questions.
All right, Ms. Adams, your question?
Thank you, Mayor. Checking them off as we go. Chief, great job. You answered at least the first 3, so I appreciate that. In regards to our packet, I'm looking at 8B2. We're talking about, in regards to the patrol vehicles that are being replaced, they're 2018 and 2019 Ford Interceptors and then a 2019 Tahoes. To me, and I know this sounds silly because I've seen the usage of your vehicles, but they don't seem like overly aged vehicles. So when you're making a decision in terms of replacement, because 10 is a large number, we're looking at a replacement in 1 year, what qualifies these vehicles for a replacement compared to other vehicles that you say, no, they may still have some life left in them?
Yeah, so part of it is mileage, but even more importantly is engine hours, which, according to the garage, you can pretty much double the mileage to consider how many, average wear on the vehicle is encountered between, the heat and the engine running beyond just the miles that are put on it. Additionally, we work with the garage, so last year, we had quite a few of the vehicles that were at this age that we experienced some significant transmission issues, air conditioning issues. So it's that balance of preventive maintenance versus, hey, when they get into the 80 to 90 or 95,000 mile range, that's when we're seeing complete engine failures, air conditioning going out, transmissions, and nowadays, for just a new transmission, we're spending right in the $5,000 range to get replaced. So kind of that balance, and then we reevaluate the cars every year, work with the garage also for recommendations. Sometimes they might recommend, hey, this is about a $4,000 fix, but the car's got 50,000 miles, and we think we're going to get a lot more out of it. We just did that with one of our cars recently. I think we spent about $5,000, but we're confident we're going to get at least 3 or 4 more years out of it. So it's kind of an individual working with the garage very closely because we're not mechanics, and kind of following their recommendations. And then at the same time, looking out to make sure that, now we're having a kind of a steady flow of vehicle replacements as opposed to peaks and valleys. So kind of like we had talked in the budget process.
Understood. And you had mentioned that we're eliminating leasing of the vehicles with the change of the Special Investigations Unit vehicle. That seemed like, based on what you were saying, it was a decision made a little while ago, but are we seeing an increase in the cost for leasing of the vehicles, which is then making us change to getting rid of that program?
Yeah, leasing about 5-6 years ago used to be really attractive, as far as to the point that you could literally lease a vehicle on a government purchase and sell it a couple years later for even more money because it was discounted so much. That pricing model has completely changed, and now for a monthly lease on a nothing fancy of a vehicle is approaching the $700 or $750 range. It's not getting any cheaper. It's not advantageous like it used to be. And also, we're not experiencing, the original goal of the leasing was that they could turn over cars more frequently for some of the work they were doing. But we haven't experienced any problems with that, so we thought it was a good strategy to just move to purchasing ourselves and more financially responsible for the city.
As we phase out the older vehicles, will we be moving them into the city's fleet elsewhere for staff or things like that, or will we be selling them?
So generally, most of those are going to be sold. We always work with Bobby and the city manager's office before we do decide to sell something. Certainly if we can do reuse. So sometimes, like our patrol vehicles, they move into the public service aid. Right now, the public service aid is using an old patrol truck and also an old patrol interceptor vehicle. So certainly those flow through our departments. If we had a need in the building department or in the code enforcement, we could also transfer one down to that if need be.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Bentley?
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, we set this program, I'm going to guess, let's say 15 years ago, we set this program up so that we'd be automatically buying cars. And I don't remember what the numbers were back then as far as number of cars, but I know we've hired a lot of people. And so I was just curious, are we keeping up with the need? Or has the program just been adjusted every year based on the number of cars you need? So
I'll let the manager talk about the financial fund of it, but as far as what we need for vehicles, I think we are at a good spot now that we can replace these before they become too much of a problem, but before it's a waste, because it costs a lot to re-outfit a vehicle, to have that company come in and tear out the equipment and put in what they can reuse or replace. So I think we're at a good spot now. I think next year we kind of anticipate somewhere in the same range of vehicles again. But just a reminder, in 2023 and 2024, I think we purchased one year and 3 the next year. So we were really low. Being that we were more down in staffing at that point, it was a little more easy to absorb that. But now as we're getting, we have 3 more that are in field training, going to be released on their own at the end of this year, that flexibility has kind of gone away. So we're just trying to be responsible with it, but also make sure we're not falling behind.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gaylord.
Hey, Chief. So you mentioned that we were able to save some money compared to what was budgeted based on reusing some of the communication and radio equipment. Is the bulk of that savings coming from, like I see the Motorola quote over here has like quantity 8 and stuff. Is the bulk of the savings from the radio equipment coming from because we're able to reuse like the Motorola equipment in old vehicles, or?
Yeah, so the bulk of the savings that we're getting out of this current quote is we are reusing the in-car radio systems. New in-car radio systems at the latest P25 levels are about $7,000 a piece. So what we've made is kind of a strategic decision that making sure we keep the good radios that we have that are still functional. We just upgraded all the programming on them. But if we stay current on that, those should be able to last us a little bit longer. Also at the same time, some of the admin vehicles and some of the undercover vehicles, we're prioritizing the in-car radios to the patrol units that are responding to calls all day long. Myself, I'm not responding to calls all day long. My portable radio works just fine. And so it's kind of changing that mindset a little bit, that not every single one of our cars needs a $7,000 radio in it, because we'd rather use those funds elsewhere.
You said they would last a little bit longer. How much longer are you anticipating the systems that we're using now lasting, you think?
The portables, we should get many more years. I would say, I hate to put a number out there, because you know how companies sunset their products. But I would say 5 to 7 more years with our portable radios. The in-car radios, they're one of the older models, but I would think until we start having problems with them, hopefully 3 to 5 more years. Maybe next year if we start having some of them drop off and, the electronic components are going bad and we don't have any spares, then maybe next year we come back and say, okay, we do need to replace 3 of these, 3 out of the 7 next year or whatever. It's kind of what we're doing with the radars this year. We're not putting new radars in all the cars because some of ours are still good. So kind of on a case-by-case basis each year. I won't say that next year we won't come for some radios, but we decided this year we didn't need to purchase any new radios.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I don't see any more lights. We don't have any questions. We have a motion from Ms. Adams and a second from Mr. Bentley. All those in favor of purchasing the radios as written, or this equipment, the vehicles as written, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Helen. We can hear you. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, the next item is approve the award of contract for the new building department. Mr. Petroni.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, council members. We're here to talk about the new building department building. Back in March, I advertised a request for qualifications to solicit a couple design build teams. And 2 firms, Hendrick Brothers Construction and WJ Construction, submitted their written proposals back in May. A little bit later, on the 13th, We evaluated their written proposals, and we invited both of them to come and present oral presentations. After that, our committee evaluated both the oral and written proposals, and WJ Construction received the highest overall score and was selected to be our design build team. This started our development process, which is to convert the renderings, the architect's renderings that we had, into 100% building plans. That would get us to what we're going to be talking about today, which is a GMP contract, which stands for Guaranteed Maximum Price. To explain, the design build process is a little bit different from all the other contracts I've come up in here asking for your approval for, which are usually design bid build. Here, we have a lot more people involved than just an engineer and a contractor. We've got mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, plumbing engineers, site engineers, structural engineers. So the design build allows the city / me to deal with basically one person, which is the contractor, W&J, and they get to deal with all the people that I just mentioned in that chain. The contract includes, the GMP actually includes all the specifications, all the plans, all the interior, exterior elevations, and all the interior colors and finishes. The GMP does not allow, which it stands for Guaranteed Maximum Price, does not allow that price to go up unless we choose to ask them to do something to make it increase. During this whole process, when I came on board, I saw the first set of plans was a single story. It's kind of morphed into a second story. That second story was going to be left as a shell. Council chambers are now over there as well. So we evaluated a lot of options from that point. We've been working with W&J, their whole team, which is here, back over to my right-hand shoulder, the architectural firm. And we evaluated a lot of options and came up with building out the second floor. So now the whole building next door is going to have a combination of the building department downstairs, the building department downstairs, the new council chambers that you mentioned previously, the planning and zoning department upstairs, as well as our city engineer and our construction inspector, which basically almost sounds like a whole new community development section of the city. So based on that, I've got our fiscal side. There's 3 different areas that we're going to use to fund this project. And the first section, I'm probably going to explain this a little bit. The Community Development Restrictive Fund of $3,904,278 is what's needed. The second bullet point of the general fund of the $1,067,851. When you add those two up, those equal the $4,972,129, which is needed to meet the GMP that's attached to my staff report. The third bullet point, the $3,709,022 is what we have available in that fund, which left a little bit of a shortfall. So we are going to meet that shortfall, which is approximately about $195,256. So we're going to do an intra-fund loan of $250,000 from the general fund. And if you look at the last, you'll see the total. That adds up to a total of $5,026,873, which is a little bit over what the actual GMP contract amount is. So we have a surplus, or I guess a contingency amount of about $54,744. There's typically, I like a 5% contingency that you've seen in my other contracts when I come to you and ask you for money. With the GMP, we only have a 1.5% with the builder, which is about $74,592. So when you add the 54 surplus, we have about $129,326. That's there. If there is a hiccup, if there's not, it won't get used as typical. So that would end up coming off the price. So based on all that, I'm here to recommend that you will authorize the city manager to enter into guaranteed maximum price contract with WJ Construction Corporation for an amount not to exceed $4,972,129. And we have a resolution for the intra-fund, Resolution 2025-24, that's also attached, that allows us to do the $250,000 loan. That is also part of an attachment, which is a 5.15% interest loan on a 5-year basis amount. First year is interest only, and the remaining 4 years is principal and interest, and we can repay that loan anytime.
All right, thank you. Nice presentation. Mr. Frampus?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll make a motion. We authorize city manager to enter into a guaranteed minimum price contract with W&J Construction Corporation for an amount not to exceed $4,972,129. I do have a question, and that as written.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Helen. We have a motion on the floor from Mr. Frampus and a second from Ms. Volz. I don't see any lights up here for any comments, so.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Frampus?
When we decided to build this building, we were planning on leaving the second floor, like you said, open. And we didn't budget for that this year to finish that, or even next year, I believe, right? Is that?
Budgeted over this year and next year.
So it was in our budget to do that? Because I didn't remember talking about that, finishing off the second floor. So do we have a timeline on once this gets approved?
Well, we're trying to, if we can get this approved tonight, I'll be meeting with them to get permit packages put together. We're ready to receive the St. John's permit for the site work and storm. Has to go through our building department and site plan approval. And we have 11 months from my issuance of the NTP, which is notice to proceed. So hopefully by the end of next year, this time next year, we'll be having a ribbon cutting, knock on wood.
And at our workshop, we had some disagreement in some of the colors and stuff. At what point are we going to resolve those things?
So colors, I think we are, we still have some flexibility for some of the shading of the colors. We had a really good discussion about security and safety, and so got together with the team and worked with the police department, and I think we've come up with a really good solution for the security aspect, which is kind of a two-pronged approach, going with the metal detector at the entrance with an officer, and then having, obviously having the chief or his designee at the council meeting being the second entry. So we'll have the metal detector when you entrance, with an officer there, and then police presence inside the chambers.
And how about the layout inside, the colors? We talked about a projection.
Yep, the projection, all of those items are all doable as part of this construction package. And which shade of blue that floor, we have plenty of time to figure out which shade of blue that blue becomes.
We'll be having another workshop, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, we do.
We can do that, or we can do that on a council meeting night. I mean, we're pretty close. I don't think we're too far away on shading.
Trying to nail you down.
I hear you. From the big picture, though, I think we're in good shape.
Yeah, from my standpoint, everything that was presented to you at the workshop is what we asked the contractor to present. Now, if we need to take the shades of colors to a blue, to a gray to accomplish what you want, I don't think.
Well, there was some unresolved issues.
The material, yeah, the material.
The amount of colors on the wall, there was the projection, it was unresolved, so I was just wondering when we were going to resolve it.
Yeah, once we get the building up, we start getting to the finished stages, I'm sure we'll be getting together with you.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Adams?
Thank you. Just a quick question, because I know recently we had challenges with a contractor, and then we had to go figure out a plan B, and I know that W&J has good roots here in Brevard County. I don't anticipate, nor do I wish this on you, but I'm just doing due diligence in terms of if something goes wrong with the project in terms of either on the contractor side or we have some sort of issue as it's being built, what is our backup plan?
Well, part of the evaluation of both the written and the oral was their financial strength, the package, and both companies that presented were very, very strong. So we did background checks, we did reference checks, and also included in it, the only other way I know how to do anything is to have payment and performance bonds that are also included. So if they did experience that, unfortunately, we'd have to go back to the same thing, but we would have recourse to have no hopefully nothing out of pocket like we had on the other project, and be able to start back over, maybe contact the other builders, step back in to finish where we started.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Frampus. We have a second by Ms. Foltz. All those in favor of awarding the contract to W&J Construction, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Mr. Petroni. Good job. All right, thank you.
Mayor, if I might, just real quick, Eric, do you have a quick second to just step up and introduce yourself again to the council representing WJ?
We also need a motion on the resolution.
Oh, and a motion on the resolution. Eric, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Good evening. My name is Eric Costin. I am the president and owner of W&J Construction. I have been with W&J Construction for this is my 22nd year.
Wow.
We have completed over 3 million square feet of municipal projects in Brevard County. We are finishing, this year we finished up Cocoa Beach, the new Cocoa Beach City Hall. We are going for substantial completion on Palm Bay's City Hall expansion in 30 days. And I will make a promise to you, Ms. Adams, that we will not fail, we will not drop the ball. And we have never been in trouble on a project. We've never been in litigation. We've never been in court. Like Mr. Petroni said, that's part of the important background process that you guys go through before selecting us. I think a lot of city managers probably stepped up and gave us great recommendations. So we're very excited to work for you. It's been a super fun project with your process with your team on the design side. So we're ready to get out there, get the project mobilized, get the project signs up, and have a great project. And get your color situation squared away.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mayor, can I ask a quick?
Yes, please.
Just because you're here.
Sure.
I appreciate the reassurance, so thank you. You did mention you think it's a fun project and you've done other municipal work in Brevard County. What's your favorite aspect of the building that we have coming forward?
For us, for this particular project, it is the structure, the entry feature, and the council chambers, because it's so prominent and beautiful that it really is a really showpiece type of entrance when you come into the city of West Melbourne. So that's really been the focal point of us in the design side, is really making sure that that entry feature and your travel pathway into the council chambers is a great experience for everybody that comes and visits.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you. All right, next item.
We do need a motion on
the resolution. Wishes of the council?
You really have to read it?
No, we don't have to read it.
Not a resolution.
Just need a motion and a second and a vote.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2025-24.
Thank you.
For the interfund loan with the general fund.
Thank you, Mr. Gaylord.
I'll second the motion.
All right, all those in favor, please, we have a motion on the floor from Ms. Volz, a second from Mr. Gaylord. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, thank you. All right, now we go to the next item, ordinance number 2025-24, impact fees. Mr. Carey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you noted, this is a request for an ordinance. This is one of the ordinances that kind of started as a review of the last session's legislative changes. One of the bills is Senate Bill 180, excuse me. That's really gotten a lot of news statewide because it's impacted some of the other communities. Sorry, I'll wait for everybody to exit. Some other communities' comprehensive plans. I don't, after discussing it extensively with our planner, I don't think it's going to be an issue for our comprehensive plan, but it did contain a section about impact fees. And I just wanted to review our impact fee ordinance to make sure that it was consistent with the new bill. And what I found wasn't that we necessarily needed a new ordinance for this bill specifically, but more because our impact fee ordinance as it is, isn't very clear, and it doesn't really address the, what we're going to be doing with the new water plant and the new impact fee that will come with that. And so what we've done with the ordinance is added a section that deals specifically with impact fees that are that are going to be calculated and derived from the city of West Melbourne specifically. Our impact fees now are mostly passed through from either the county or city of Melbourne, but we're going to be developing an impact fee for the water system when that comes online as part of the work that Stantec did. And we will be getting a study for that. And so this ordinance provides specifically for authorizing the impact fee as well as procedures for staff to use when issuing building permits. Right now, the procedures they use really only vaguely address internal impact fees. It's mostly about making sure they have proof that they paid the impact fees through the county and the city. So this allows us to address impact fees that are calculated and collected by the city, as well as allowing the building official the authority to be able to approve the building the building permit by verifying that the fee has been paid internally. When we have outside fees, the contractor needs to bring in proof. But if it's an internal one, we may have the technological capability for him to review that and approve it without having to have the applicant provide us a piece of paper from down the hall. So it allows that explicitly. Right now, the way the code's worded, they would still have to go through the additional process of going down the hall, getting a printout, bringing it to the building official, handing it to him, which isn't really very efficient. So so this ordinance is really just a cleanup in preparation for when we build the new water plant and bring the impact fees online. And so I would request that I be able to read the ordinance title and then put it forward to you for either questions or for a motion to approve. And this is ordinance number 2025-24, an ordinance of the City of West Melbourne, Florida, relating to impact fees, revising section 18-272 of the City Code of the City of West Melbourne relating to scheduled permit fees, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification and scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I know we had talked about this. I had asked you to please look at this. We were talking about this on my committee at Florida League of Cities, so thank you very much for pulling this out. What are the wishes of the council?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Ms. Volz. Ms. McGuire.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. McGuire. No more discussion. All right, thank you. All those in favor of the of approving ordinance number 2025-24, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries 7-0. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Carey. Council reports. Ms. Adams.
A couple things to highlight in terms of most recently, earlier this morning, I know a couple of us have attended the State of the State, which is, it was supposed to be an overview at the end of last session, but because of scheduling conflicts, they made it in sort of an introduction into the upcoming legislative session. And so most of the Brevard delegation did attend. Most interestingly, and I think what will impact our city and our residents, and I think, you know, part of what's taking some of the air out of the room is the discussion of property taxes. And so I'm sharing that because both Debbie Mayfield and Tyler Soroy discussed it sort of at length at the meeting today. And they both had shared sort of what legislature is thinking in terms of their options with property taxes. There was a memo that went out, I think about a week ago, from some legislative leadership about the different options that are currently being proposed. There's also discussion, depending on what moves forward and what doesn't move forward, on do they want to give residents multiple choices of constitutional amendments on the ballot for next year, or will they narrow their choices down to one, and then what does that wording look like? How does that impact different groups of people within Florida? So just bringing that to your attention, because it flows right into the Florida League of Cities had their second of 3 legislative policy committee meetings last week. And so in those discussions, property taxes also came up there, amidst other things. But the one thing I wanted to bring up to council's attention is the Florida League of Cities has created basically a property tax toolkit And so they've taken data from all of the cities across Florida, and you can search up by each city. So West Melbourne has their own document that you can pull up. And so it breaks down, budgeting, what we take in for property taxes, things like that, and how different measures may impact the city. So I wanted to bring that to your attention because I know that it's rolled out already on their website. So if residents are curious and want to see, in terms of a West Melbourne lens, what that looks like, or if council wants to, that's already live out there for us. The Promise fundraiser that was held recently was very well attended, so I had wanted to share with council. They had actually exceeded their goal from last year, and they raised over $210,000 to support Promise in Brevard, which then goes and supports the residents that live at Promise right here in West Melbourne. So that was super exciting just to see their success and celebrate with them. And then just a reminder, with Heritage Day coming up this week, we're hoping our residents come and join us. I think it'll be a fun time, but I also wanted to share with you, we have some members of the Youth Advisory Board that will be coming to also volunteer. So it was great to get them plugged in right from the start, and I appreciate them just jumping in and saying yes. So that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Voluntold. They were voluntold.
I like volunteer, but I'll take voluntold.
Ms. Volz?
I like that. No, I don't have anything.
All right, Mr. Bentley.
Thank you. I think I just have one comment tonight. There was a reference made tonight about the possibility of having problems when you have ongoing projects, right? There's always that possibility. But I did want to say that I was involved in one of those situations, as you guys know, with the septic to sewer conversion. And the effort that Tim and Mark put in is just phenomenal in my view. In my view, we have a better contractor than we had originally. They spend half a day, I hope not, half an hour every day cleaning up so that it's manageable for people to try to get down the street at the end of every day. And I've had we have 44 residents in our neighborhood, and I probably had 10 people make comments to me about they notice that this contractor's better than the last contractor. These guys take a 10-minute break in the morning, maybe a half an hour for lunch. They do it all at one time. And if it's not break time, every one of them is working, and it's amazing. Every one of them run from one site to another. It's just, you say, slow down, man. It's not that big of a deal. But it's just these guys do a great job. This company is doing a great job, and it's such a difference. And so I appreciate the effort that you guys put in to get a second company when we had a problem like that, because that's a huge deal. And I know the residents were getting antsy, but I think they're very pleased now. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bentley. Mr. Gaylord?
Nothing to report. I just wanted to say I'm looking forward to Heritage Day. So.
All right, Ms. McGuire?
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Mr. Frampus?
I just had one question. When we denied the waste management contract change last meeting, we talked about going through code enforcement and getting a little more enforcement. Was any progress made there? Have we thought about it anymore on how we want to approach that? And
We have a couple options to discuss at our workshop
okay,
next week, Monday.
thank you.
2
The workshop.
Mondays? 1 Monday. 1 Monday. Next week, Monday.
Thank you. No report, Mayor.
All right, thank you. I don't have much to report. Diana handled what I was going to say for the meeting we went to this morning. Just a reminder that the WMMB meeting will be on the 28th, which is next Tuesday at 5:30 at the Fairfield Inn, which is at 4355 New Haven. So if anyone would like to go to that, and I understand Hal Rose is going to be one of the speakers. Okay, I think they have 2 speakers, and Hal is going to be one of them, so I'll be interested to what he has to say. Maybe I can pick up some pointers. Okay, Mr. Rhodey?
I ask one question first.
Yes, sir.
Diana, where's the Florida League stand on the property tax thing? Are they for or against it? I'm just curious.
So currently, being the vice chair of the Finance Taxation Committee this year, I can tell you the league is formulating. We don't have it finalized. We'll have it finalized the first week of December. And it should be noted that there's more than 30 people on this committee, and so not everybody is always in agreement. But the league is trying to formulate a statement of support for trying to figure out the best way to say this based on the fact statements have not been totally, gathered, but they are looking and having conversations with all of the legislatures, especially those that serve on the select committee that's been chosen to kind of tackle the property tax issue. And so I think they're still trying to understand what has the highest potential to come forward out of that committee before they really narrow down what their stance is on the issue. I do believe
Just at this point?
they are concerned, but I do believe they're trying, they do believe something will be coming on the ballot for next year. And so understanding and trying to wrap their arms around, we have cities of all different sizes and all different needs from a budget standpoint. Some cities, any changes to property taxes will significantly impact the cities, as in there's some discussion of can those cities even function if changes are significant, versus other cities, it's not a huge part of their budget where they're not affected as much. So how does the league take a stance that encompasses everybody, recognizing that something will be coming forward on the ballot? I think after the December meeting, when they have an official policy statement in regards to where they stand with property taxes, and then we have the legislative action days that will be coming forward in January, where we'll be representing them and trying to have those discussions and see where our legislators stand. I think it's going to give us a better stance
Guessing
on
it's
that.
just because it's not very clear, right?
No, and
Where the
that
money's
was
coming from?
that was a big part of the discussion. I think currently there are 8. I think there are 8 proposals in terms of what to do about property taxes that have been thrown out there. What sticks to the wall when you throw it, that's what we're waiting to find out. So I think it's hard to take a position when you don't know what's going to necessarily be coming forward.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Mr. Rhodey?
Thank you very much. Very excited for Heritage Days. Final last touches are being put on everything. We are looking forward to the mayor dropping some ping pong balls to close out the event, and so that should be a good way to close out the event. Deputy Mayor, I thank you for your kind words, but it takes a team. We got put in a very unusual, tough situation. Tom Bradford, Mark Petroni, Mark Picarillo, Candace, when she was here. But more importantly than all those things, we had a city attorney who drafted a really good contract, and that contract was never in dispute. Our initial reaction when they went belly up was that they were going to dispute, they were going to find some I not dotted, some T not crossed, some discrepancy in the numbering of the pages of the contract, and they never got to that point. So it really does take a team, and I appreciated everybody's late nights and hard work to get that project back on. And I would agree with you. I think we ended up with a much better contractor the second time around. And so hopefully we can keep that pace and keep that project going, because it is a very intrusive. Many of our projects are in the right-of-way, are off to the side of the road, not really inconveniencing people. This project is in people's front yards and their driveways, and it's really an inconvenience, so we appreciate that. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Carey?
And next year is an election year, and what that means for the legislative session is that the session gets moved up 2 months earlier. So session this year is from January until March, and they're already having committee meetings. So if there's anything that you have as a priority that you want to talk to your legislative delegation about. We already had the local delegation meeting last month, and things are chugging along now, and at some point soon it's going to be too late to even get anything on the calendar if you're looking. So just as a reminder, early session means things are already ramping up there. And the other thing I was going to mention to you all is normally I would volunteer, however Mr. Rohde and Mr. Bradford need me for Heritage Days, but because of scheduling quirk, we have a Board of Adjustment meeting on Thursday night. So I will not be there, nor will the planning staff. It's not, something that we're trying to blow off Heritage Days. It's just can't be in two places at once. So apologies in advance for missing that. I hope it's a great event, and look forward to seeing you all on Monday.
All right, thank you, and thank you for writing that great contract, so we didn't have any issues. Ms. Adams?
Just a quick question, because it's not often in my life that my pastor in church brings up, there's certain things you can control, and then he makes a quip about the progress on 192 in the same sermon. So that was an interesting experience for me on Sunday, but it did lead me to question. A few weeks ago, we had the discussion of where are we with at least fixing the bumps that people are having issues with their cars, and last we heard it would be done in about 2 weeks. 2 weeks has come and gone, and I can tell you driving over it today, it's still an issue. Do we have any update on that?
FDOT inspected the 192 intersection, and it meets their design construction criteria.
No, do not tell me they're going to leave it like that.
No, they are definitely not leaving it that way. Obviously, one lane is paved and the other lane is not. But they have a construction lift tolerance, and that 192 meets that construction lift tolerance. And so they are working to get the...
Is that lift tolerance up for debate or discussion?
Maybe with FDOT, we have pushed them to try to get that intersection prioritized, but they have a paving scheme being the wrong word. They have a paving schedule that was approved by FDOT for various reasons with lane closures and traffic and light, and that they have all coordinated that they are going to stick to. They did make some very good progress on paving 192 last week, and then this week again, we've seen nothing. So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for my comment if it came across as rude. I was just surprised if they were going to leave it like that.
Very frustrating process that we do not control, and we can only take shots at them and ask them to do things. And
do we know when they are finishing that second lane?
The whole project needs to be paved, I think, the last week of November. Yeah, the last week of November is what their deadline is for paving.
Thank you.
Ms. McGuire, no? It's true, your question? Okay. All right, thank you. Well, nothing else being left to said. Everyone has spoken. We are adjourned.